So finally, Baki Hanma Season 2 Part 2 is out on Netflix. And in this video, we are going to see Baki Hanma Season 2 Part 2 episode number 1. And if you want to watch the other episode of Baki Hanma Season 2 Part 2 like episode 2, 3, 4, then don't forget to subscribe the channel and set channel bell to all, because all the episodes are going to come one by one on this channel. So let's start the episode number 1, whose name is Dying for Love. So when episode start, we saw that Baki is lying on an X-ray machine, and then we know that Baki had came to Dr. Kureha Shinogi for a full body checkup after his fight with Pickle. Then Kureha Shinogi said to Baki that he needs a full body checkup from a long time ago, because he is a fighter and fighter needs body checkup once in a week. Then doctor said to Baki that his body is more wounded than a professional fighter. After hearing all Dr. Kureha Shinogi thinks, Baki said that he can't change the way of living. And after hearing Baki's opinion, Dr. Kureha said, yeah, I also know about that. And he said to Baki that his body checkup is finished, and if there's anything wrong, he will call him, and if he doesn't call him, then assume everything is okay with his body. And then Baki leaves the Dr. Kureha place. And when Dr. Kureha was checking Baki's report, he found something very crazy and scary. And he immediately called to his friend Mogi, who was a top neurologist, and said him to come very quickly. And in the next scene, we saw that Dr. Kureha is checking the reports and Mogi is also now there. And now Dr. Kureha Shinogi showed Mogi the X-ray picture of Baki's brain. And we saw that the Baki brain was looking like a demon. And now Kureha asked Mogi, has he seen anything like this before? After hearing this, Mogi was very shocked. He asked Kureha whose brain is it, and Kureha replied that it is the brain of 80 years old Japanese boy. And then Kureha said that normal brain looks like this. Do you think, Mogi, that a man character is linked with his brain? After hearing this, Mogi said that there is no theory of a man personality linked to a man brain. And he also said that there is one certain thing, that humans don't know anything about their mind. And Mogi said, looks like this boy must be a demon like his brain. And on this, Kureha agrees and he said, yeah, that's true. And the next scene we saw is of a street where we saw thousands of mouse panicking together, but no one knows the reason of their panicking. And then we know the reason was Baki himself, because Baki was going to cross that streets in few minutes, and all the mouse panicked because of Baki's aura. And the next scene starts of Baki's girlfriend, who is sitting on a bed. She was thinking that how a handsome and so confident face turned into this. And here she is thinking that when Ali was crying, his crying, nose and saliva made a very beautiful thing, which I found a little creepy, so we are not going to talk about that much. And then she is thinking that I don't know how much time I was sitting there holding Muhammad Ali Jr. in my hands when he was crying after his fight with Baki. And then she said, when we stood up, my whole clothes were filled with his crying water. Now here she is thinking what Ali Jr. said. At that time, Ali Jr. said to her, why was she holding him so much long time? On hearing this, she said, if her mother was here, she would do the same thing. On hearing this, Muhammad Ali Jr. said, then this was a mother love, not a girlfriend love. And then he said to her that I think she doesn't feel this mother love for Baki. Then he said, I lost both girl and the fight. Then Ali Jr. is thinking about the fight. He said, did I lost? Then he said, no, I didn't lost, because Baki was not even trying. This was not even a fight for Baki. And finally her thinking stopped and the morning time came, where she was ready to go to school with bread in her mouth. Then he saw Baki also going to school holding bread in his mouth, and then they both started going together. And then Baki said to her that it's been a long time since I last saw her. How was her time? And then she said she was spending a great time. And Baki said, I think so. And then she kicked Baki and said she was joking. And they both started laughing, and Baki was thinking that he just want her to be happy. And the next scene is from street, where Baki is trying to become a punching bag for some thieves. I mean, the thieves was beating Baki and Baki was not doing anything. And then one of the thieves said, why don't we cut him? And when one of the thieves showed Baki a knife, Baki became very angry and Baki was ready to kill those two. Now the thief became very scared. Now it was looking to thieves that their weapon was shrinking slowly and slowly, like it has no use on Baki. And suddenly Kuragawa came into the scene and he said to Baki why he's trying to fight some kids. And Kuragawa said to the thieves that if they want their bones in the perfect shape, then they must leave now. And after hearing this, thieves ran away scared. And the next scene is from a restaurant where Kuragawa and Baki is sitting together to have some tea. Now Kuragawa said to Baki, the time has finally came. The biggest fight in the history, the final battle of the father and son. On hearing this, Baki said, it's not that big deal. On hearing this, Kuragawa said that avenging your mother, there is no simple about that. Then Baki said, it's almost 5 years when that happened. So in this Baki's flashback, we see the scene where Yujiro Hanma killed Baki's mother. Now Baki said, I have questioned many times myself. Does my father is the only one who should pay for my mother's death? Cause I am not so sure. Then Kuragawa asked Baki what made him think that. Then Baki said, well, also my mother was not an ordinary mother. My mother also had a very decent past. And now here comes Baki mother's flashback. Baki mother, whose name was Emi Akezawa, was married to a man named Elichi Akezawa, who was from a wealthy family. But then she met the strongest man in the world and she saw blood and men getting crushed and she enjoyed it. And Yujiro recognized that she loved fighting. And also Yujiro was finding a woman like that. And Yujiro beats Elichi Akazawa and every bodyguard in his house and get to Emi Akazawa and said to him that I know you like blood. I was finding a woman like you. You will give birth to my child. Now to get Yujiro Hanma love, Baki mother gave Baki a house to live, money to eat, gave him best coaches around the country. She did all this so she can make Yujiro Hanma happy. So here we saw a scene of Yujiro Hanma and Emi Akezawa in a hotel room. Here Yujiro Hanma said to Emi Akezawa that I only needed her to bear a child and made him best fighter so I can fight him. If she can't even do that, then she is no more to me than a prostitute. After hearing this, Baki mother became really sad and she went down to the hotel and she started punching Baki and said, this is all your fault because you are weak, Baki. After hearing this, Baki said to his mom, I want to ask you, if I beat Yujiro Hanma, then would you love me? Then Baki said to Kuragawa, when I was lying there, I could barely see them. I was only seeing my father and mother hugging each other. And I was thinking, damn father, you are hugging too much hard. And my mother was crying and hugging her back. Now Baki said to Kuragawa that she was crying in happiness because the deepest woman desire within her was filled. Now Kuragawa started crying and he said to Baki, she did wrong, Baki. She was only thinking about her life. But what about your life, Baki? Baki, you have a life and a purpose too. Don't waste your life for your mother because she did anything for you. Baki, your life is also important as her life was. Now Baki said, yeah, I know also. And Kuragawa said, but it don't seems like it. Now suddenly Baki said, I heard the voice of an angel. And Kuragawa asked, what do you mean by that? Now Baki said, my father's first punch showed me the power level gap between him and me. When I was lying there getting beaten, one person stand up for me and that was my mother. I heard voice of an angel for me. She didn't only stand up, she punched the strongest man in the world right on the face for me. And she also know that even touching him could kill her, but she punched him right on the face for me. Now Baki said she gave her life for me. Hearing those words were enough. I could die happy right now. The reason I am alive right now is because of her. That is what made me strong today. After hearing this, Kuragawa said, okay, that's what's driving you. That's what made you to be strong. Not just strong, strongest of all of them. So in the end of the episode, we know that Baki is not trying to avenge his mother. He is trying to repay his love by defeating Yujiro Hanma. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe the channel for more videos. So let's meet in the episode number 2.